Okay, I think I have like some more things I probably could add on.
Hmm.
Because they're like, as you mentioned, like the editing process is a really important part of of just I think everything, really. In fact, I would say it's probably one of the most important parts of like of a video in general. Um, and it's something that I also spend probably maybe the most time on doing. It is quite a time intensive thing. Um, from like making the videos, I've like there's two different ways I've kind of done these for tutorials where one is like a very scripted thing where I'll plan everything sort of in advance and then it's like a checklist. And it's like, okay, well, I have to say this, I have to do that, I have to record this and blah 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 and put it all together. And then I have the other videos where it's just like, oh well, I'll just turn on OBS and just record and go and edit it later. And both of those have their challenges, the upsides and downsides.
Yeah.
I think it's in music production or like at school, we was always told about this 30-70 rule where if you prepare in advance, so you have like good recording of all your instruments, then you hardly need to do any mixing
Hmm.
because the sound already is good and you've done the work
Right.
beforehand, so that saves later on. And then as the opposite, if you don't, then you need to spend more time behind the desk mixing harder
Right.
because it wasn't recorded as well. Um, and that's similar with video. With if you script it all out, then you'll have an easier time editing it. And I think in general, it's yeah, like I like doing the scripted stuff, just because it's very uh, precise. It's like you plan everything out the way you want it to be. I know I said just earlier, it's like, oh, well, I don't really plan stuff out, but I do plan the script out.
Well, it's
Um,
like it's also like we were saying earlier with just creating a workflow
mhm,
in music. It's kind of the same way as you're basically setting out a tracked versions or a way that guidelines that make it easier to film an episode or create an episode, which in turn helps with the editing. And the same thing goes
mhm.
with music and everything like that. So it makes complete sense on how those intertwine there.
Yeah, it's the two schools of
Yeah.
thought. I mean, if you think about hip hop, it's like writing versus freestyle. So it's just different, ways of doing it. And some speak to some people like I can freestyle okay, but I'm a much better writer. Same
Mhm,
goes for production. If I don't know what I have in mind, it might go on forever. And like you said, sitting behind
yes.
sound design for hours on one thing versus like knowing what I'm going for to begin with. So I kind of like the predetermined route more than I like the freestyle route myself. But
Mhm,
that's for music particularly.
mhm. Yeah, that would be like a big workflow thing of what fits best and also just what is good for the particular need at the time.
Hmm.
If it's yeah, like sometimes it's just easier to just record, to turn it on record and then just do it later. Or at least, you're just not in the mood for planning everything out. Not everything needs that sort of preparation, I guess. Yeah, it's very similar, just for different worlds and different forms of media.
Yeah. What up, Buttons? Thanks for watching these clips with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to check out our Patreon, links are in the description. And if you want to see more videos, try checking some of these out right here. Yeah, they're pretty good. This one especially. I'm sure this one's great. Yeah, go ahead. Click on it. Go on.